30, 40, 50 maybe. Wonder if I can hold that in such a way that somebody could see it, and I don't know if you guys can see it anyway. Yeah, it's like 59 pounds to pull it over. Oops. That's a bit excessive. Probably hold real well. I'm gonna throttle it up on a Baker fan or something. We are going to have to add shims, and I don't have many left. So, yeah. Well, actually I do. I have the old ones. Got tons of old ones. Wonder if I'm going to have to re-shim it after it wears in a little bit. You got 1, 2, there's got to be a better way to do this. Math. That's the better way. Math. Never my strong point. This thing is really 47, 46. That doesn't make sense. 46 divided by 7. Might be 6 pieces left here. 42. It's not much. 2. 4. 6. All right, I think we'll add that. See if that'll get us, oops, sorry. See if that'll get us back up. Let's see, so we got almost 59 pounds pull right now. I wonder what 2 thousandths will do. Probably not that much, but you never know. Guy was right though at Corvus. He said it's a lot of farting around to get it set up right. Lots of farting around indeed. At our 14 thousandths, so our total, if this thing will ever zero out twice in a row, maybe not. Wow, I think it's done. I can wipe the jaws as many times as I want. It doesn't make it go back to 0. Well, approximately 175 thousandths. Okay, so we're like 50 thousandths over stock. Yeah, 50. That only made like 2 pounds difference, maybe. Holy cow. Well, yeah, that did not make hardly any difference. 14 thousandths made like maybe 2 pounds difference. I gotta get back down to 30. 1 pound, 7 thousandths? I don't know. Probably doesn't math out that way, but well, we'll get so. Original shim packs. Huh. Oh, this thing is embarrassing. If I can find something better here. Alright, we're bringing in the big guns. The Edelon. A dear old friend of mine that was a machinist. Long departed. I don't know, that looks like 7. Probably the same then. Well, let's see. That's 4. I don't feel like 4 is going to do that much. Yeah, let's try it. 4. No, I'm sorry. 5. And add 35 thousandths. Yeah, 205. That's a lot. Maybe that's what it takes. Alright, now for the fun part. Should be getting pretty good at this by now. Feels kind of wimpy, but might be right. Definitely made a big difference. Big difference. Holy cow. I think it's just about right. $32, $34. No way. Huh, $34, $35. That's pretty good. I'm calling that good and close enough. So, 205 thousandths is the magic number for these clutch discs and the wear on the clutch metal discs. Doesn't seem like it. Seems like it should be harder, but I suppose when you're up there, a lot of slop in it too, but I suppose that's part of the flats that are worn and on the brass throw-up bearing. I've never brazed brass before. I'm sure that would be a challenge. I have to get this thing, oh, this has not worked. This is stuck. This whole plunger latch assembly. Guess I'll have to work on that. Wondering if this. I guess this doesn't have a brake. I thought it had a brake. Maybe it does. I know my Farmall 450 has a brake when you go the other direction. I don't know about this. Sure. How would it brake? I'll have to look into that. I don't think it has a brake. Well, anyway. I would imagine those are going to wear in, and it's probably going to need re-shimming sometime soon. I could set it up tighter so that it doesn't wear in so soon, but he said 30 pounds to pull this over, so I'm at 35 now. I think I want to leave that. All right, I'm going to get this plunger freed up. There's a lot of rust and stuff down in here. I'm going to try to blow the rust out, and there's also a spring in there. Kind of want to take the bolt out down here. There's a bolt here and this locking tab lever that goes up and down with the rod. I don't know if I take this out though. I don't think there's enough room to get this out. I don't know if I want to take all this clutch fork stuff apart. This thing does sit outside a lot, so I think I'm just going to try and get it freed up, get a lot of oil in this area. And you probably can't see, but there's a spring in there and a lot of rust. So try and get that off. Hold on a second here. Gotta go let the kitty inside. It's cold. Come on in, kitty. Kitty. Kitty doesn't like 8 degrees outside, I guess. Neither do I. I think we'll try to tap back and forth here. There we go. Blow the rust out. Ooh, there's a lot of rust in there. Ooh, kitty, run away. Alright. Oh, it looks a lot better. Actually, I can probably do this too. I got a little bit of movement here. Oh, this rod is like bent different ways too. It's just, it must take a beating kind of where it is. Quite a mess. Sometimes the best way to free stuff is just to get it loose and blow the rust out before you dump a bunch of oil in there. rather take the thing apart, but oh, actually I can just be able to take that cotter pin out, take the rod out. I don't know what I was thinking. That'd be better. See if we can get, I don't know. That might not come out either. It's really in a bad spot. Let's see if we can get it freed up here. This way. It is getting better. Smoking. Ooh, now it got really loose. Just gotta get the rust out. Sorry, kitty. You'll have to go hide for a while. Oh, that's a lot better. Yeah, it actually goes up and down a little bit. Sort of. Was. I'm wondering how I'm going to get that spring out. Well, it's kind of loose. Yep. It broke. Should have expected that, I guess. That is just a lot of rust in there. Oh, that spring wire was really deteriorated anyway, it looks like. There's just no way to get in there, and I do have to take the cover off again anyway, so maybe I'll just take it off. I think the lever will go quite a ways forward. Yeah, there we go. And now, maybe we can get this thing off here. What's up, kitty? You want to come and help? Is that it? You want to come help? By getting in the way? There, we'll cut the pin out. Cotter pin. Work it out of there. Okay. Got all that out. Let's see, this is not. Alrighty. stuck. Okay. It's really rusty and bent. It's probably one reason why it's not working as well. So I'm gonna have to get inside this thing. Yeah, that's just a ball of rust. It'd be nice to stick that in a sandblaster and beat all that stuff out of there. Huh. Wonder if the shaft's keyed in there or just clamped in some random spot. Oh, it just goes in half. Okay. Well, it might come out. Maybe it's got a flat spot on it. I'm not sure. What do you think, Kitty? Good way to get this thing out of here. The rest of that spring that's broken off in there is really nasty. Yeah, it's just coming out in pieces. I don't know. All right. Seems to be coming out. Jeez. Well, that spring's not usable anymore. I don't think there was much saving it. There's a lot of spots where it's kind of rusted partway through the wire. So that wouldn't have lasted too long. Yeah, that spring was sitting in a circle of rust. I think what we'll do is measure that. I wonder if this thing will work today. Yeah, close enough. We'll just run a drill down in there. Drill bit, and not a good one either. But slightly over half. Which means I gotta find a 1/2-inch outside diameter spring. I think the best drill bit for drilling out rust is an old rusty piece of junk drill bit that I almost threw away. I'll just go in there and kind of waller it. Oh, wrong way. Waller, waller, waller. Beat all that rust out. Yeah. Now for the grand finale. Yuck. You can already taste it. All right. Looks a lot better. So this I'll just take to the wire wheel, and then I'll straighten that in the vise. It got bent enough, it's like starting to almost tear where the hole is for the cotter pin, so I'm gonna have to be extra real careful with that. But I wonder if this bottom, this through hole should get drilled a little bit. Yeah, I think maybe it will. This is got to be a 1/4 inch rod or so. Yep, 1/4 inch. So shade over 1/4 to drill through, which is I think 17/64, isn't it? Yep. Through hole for 1/4 inch, 17/64. It goes through easily, so just rust in there. Holy cow, a lot of rust. That should be good. Should be better, and then I'll get this cleaned up. Oh yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Probably worn too. All right, we'll get this cleaned up. So we got this back cleaned up, mostly straight. I think I'll just slide it in there and then connect it down here. Looks like that's pretty much all it does. I think it gets on one side or the other with this long bolt that fits into the cover here. Actually, no, I could actually put that in right now, I guess. Oh, wait a minute. Well, maybe I can't get my... Oh yeah, it swings over there. Need to have room to get the cotter pin in there. Seems to move fairly freely. It's not completely straight, but you know, it would be better though if it's centered in this hole. It does not. Might be a lot to ask. Maybe that's why it was bent here. Doesn't seem right though. Well, oh, that's quite a bit better. Just depends on where it is, I guess. So, just don't want to have it too far off center and then have a lot of friction. So, let's see, I should go wire wheel that too, I guess. This is our plunger. Plunger that threads on there. pushed all the way in. It's just about level there. I would say pretty much you just thread this in until it doesn't thread anymore, and that's probably it. So it goes on like it stops about there. So fully. That stops there. It's down about that far. I need a spring that's like 2 inches long. Slightly over 2 inches. In its resting state, I guess you'd say, so that it pushes up firmly. Got a spring here that I think I'm just going to cut off and make work. Pretty heavy wires, so it should be good at holding this thing in place. I cut some of this off. What we'll do here is just get in there and cut off some of that. One ring. Go in there. We'll just cut it long, like, I don't know, maybe 2.5 inches. We'll have to see if we can actually compress it with your thumb or whatever. It's a big knob that goes on. It might be just the palm of your hand. Oh, come on. Oh, the other side cut easy. I used up the last 9 lives of this pliers. Alright, let's see. Put that ugly side down. Ooh, that's a lot. That might be too much. Alright, this cotter pin is half busted, so I think I'll just replace that. Put a new one in. Yeah. This off. Deposit it there like so. This is going to be interesting. Taking this up against the spring. Okay, that's down to the bottom. It's kind of hard to push with the palm of my hand, but of course there's no knob on there. Actually, I don't think it's gonna move. Nope. Oh yeah, it did, but boy, that's really tight. Of course, with grease in there, it might get better. Kind of want it firm so it doesn't sit and do what it did last time and sit there half engaged and burn up the clutch discs. Now I got a new knob for it somewhere. Got a new knob. I don't know if it's exactly the correct one, but 3/8 24 fine thread was my main concern. Yeah, it's pretty firm, but Kitty, you're in the way today. I don't know if you want to push that hard when you're up there. I don't know. Feel like that's a little too much. I could take another quarter off that spring, I think. Oops, sorry, Kitty. I don't know, they say when a cat puts its butt in your face, it trusts you. I'm not so sure. I'm sure I like that. Kitty, I want your butt in my face. Maybe I'll put this side up. Okay, so we went this way. Just, I don't want to get too far below that 2-inch though. Take another 1/8 or so. Another coil. Kitty. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody dumped you off from town. Out in the country. And now you're here to hang out with me, huh, Kitty? Come on. Oops. That's better. That is right about 2 inches. Oh, I feel like you could be up there and move that. Pretty sure, unless you got a torn rotator cuff or something like that, maybe you won't be able to go back do that. But hey, I'll have to find somebody else to do it for you. Yeah, we'll just have to. Okay. Yeah, we'll just bring the bolt out, re-jam nut it. So it just sits basically like that, I guess. It's gonna sit there so you can't accidentally engage it. Yeah, that should work. I'll get this knob kind of drawed up. It's pretty firm already, but I'll just take it the rest of the way. Seems like a firm fit. I think the brass insert bottomed out on the end of the thread, so it should stay. Could Loctite it, but I think it's fine. Now, The only thing is, I don't want it to unscrew from this too easily. But if I pack that full of grease, I'm not going to be able to get any Loctite to work in there. I guess we'll just tighten it up. And it didn't appear to have anything like that before to keep it locked, so just have to be mindful. Even if it does come off, it's not really gonna, the spring isn't gonna go flying out and lose that. I'm more concerned with preventing this from getting all full of rust again. Which I'm happy this spring has got some cad plating on it, so that's good. Or whatever that is, golden cad. Alrighty. We'll just pack some grease down in there. Too much. Oh. I'll put this end up. A rag. If you can't find a spring in your box of junk, I would think you could go to the hardware store somewhere and get just about any 1/2 inch OD spring by 2-inch length or longer and cut it down. Suppose you could stack 2 if that's all you had. And then, you know, the wire diameter is going to determine mostly how much force it takes to move it. This one's 65 thousandths or so based on this broken dial caliper, so yeah, around 65 thousandths. That's a firm spring. This one back in place. I think that's the right. A little tight. a little looser, but too hot, too cold, just right. That one will work. 5/30 seconds, maybe? I'll have to cut this down. Too long. There, custom made cotter pin. Oh, it doesn't want to go in there. Probably still a little too long. Kitty. You're not helping, kitty. It's got a little twist. It's turning into a long-term project here. Used to get a cotter pin in. But it's the way it goes sometimes. All right. Bent and correct. Now, gotta go back on here and adjust that bolt. Somehow, this piece of hose is supposed to fit in here. Not sure how that's possible. Got an idea. Corner, the little corner where it goes back in. Around, you can see better. Too many parts on the floor. Up here, in the middle on top. Try super gluing it. It'd be a miracle if this works. A lot of slop, but it works. You know, kind of help. Didn't have to hold very long. Down in the corner, hoping to dabble some glue in here. That's a lot. Oops. A little bit long there. There we go. I'll try and put some pressure on that. Quite, actually, it looks like it pulled the paint off. Whatever that primer is they put on there, super glue, seems to take it right off. Holding for now. Yeah, that glue is somehow loosening the paint. That's interesting. There. Try that again. Use 2 fingers this time. Maybe it'll be better. Uh-oh, that one came off already. I have to wire brush it. Get all that. It should stick to cast iron. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe we'll try to scrape it down to some bare cast. Try again. Eventually something's got to stick. I'll have to see how the weather cooperates. I think next week it's supposed to get back up in the 20s around here. I can get this thing outside and slip the clutch a little bit on a PTO generator I'm working on. See if it'll sort of wear the high spots off the clutch discs. And then I might have to re-shim it. Yeah, that seems to oh, that ain't gonna stick either. I guess it's kind of stuck up there. I'm just gonna have to get the cover on. Maybe I can just poke them in, poke those corners in by hand, because it doesn't like super glue. I don't think it's the hose either. I think it's whatever kind of alkyd primer or something they had on there. Alright, that should have worn some high spots off. I'll have to, oh no, we can just get it right there. I'll get that pull gauge, whatever it is, and see if it's still 30 pounds. It feels pretty similar. Wish I had something with a high load that I could slip it like a old silage filler or a big grinder mixer mill or something, but I don't have anything like that. Just got this dead generator. So bring it in later, double check the wiring and double check this again. Well, it's working good so far. So I did a little wearing in of the clutch on that PTO generator project. So we're going to try this again to see if our force to pull this has been reduced. Kind of hard to get in here because this thing has a loader on it. So I'll get that past the safety latch. We're going to see how much force it takes to pull it over. We're 23. Yep, 23. So we are under the 30-pound threshold. Means we got to get back to. We're going to need a little more pressure on it, so I think what we'll have to do is remove some more shims. So, back to taking the cover off and re-shimming. What if we just put the factory one back in, the 125 thousandths? That might be too much. No, oh, that's right. No, that's bigger. That's why there's a loose one there, because I broke up that fourth one. So we've got like 170 thousandths. 40. I don't know. I don't know if I'm too concerned about that. I am inclined to just leave that alone. want to leave that. That seems plenty good to me. Because that will continue to wear in. So before we went from 35 to whatever it was, 23, I think, 25 pounds. So I'm inclined to leave that alone. Probably let him know too that I should probably stop by one day over there, just double check it all, like next year or whenever, when he's using it. Let him know that if it gets to where it feels a little too easy to throw it into gear or clutch engagement, that he should let me know. Yeah, he can let me know if it's starting to feel too easy, or if he thinks it's slipping. Sure don't want that to happen. So in the end, we got 170,000 shim in there, and that's working. So I noticed one other thing here. So when this was engaged and running, this lever just lays forward under its own weight. And what that does is that causes that brass bearing, this throw-out bearing, I don't know what it's called. That brass bearing just lays against the steel collar in there, and I think it's just kind of causing premature wear. There's nothing to stop it. So then it's just kind of dumb. It just kind of lays there and rubs. And it was a little noisy. I don't know. Maybe when it was brand new, this sort of stood up a little straighter and didn't have as much weight against it. But so I came up with this idea. Maybe I put this spring on here. Actually, I got to put it back on because we took it off. This worked once before. The spring is like just the right size that it fits over this pin here, which is must have been where these couplers used to sit. So if you bring it back like this, it was like just the right size to fit over that and stay there. Just had to tap it in place. There. So while it's engaged, now that actually just ever so slightly pulls the lever back. It doesn't pull, it won't really stay back, but it just like zero weight to take the tension off. So this thing doesn't just sit there and rub. I don't know. You wouldn't want to do that to a tractor going to a show to get judged or something, but I'm just trying to come up with some kind of simple solution. Maybe to keep that little $185 bronze throw-up bearing from wearing prematurely for the next 50 years. So, I think we're going to call that done. Yeah, in the end we got lots of new parts. Lots and lots of new parts. Some used parts, but everything that it needed so that he could use it again. And run his elevator, load his bins, whatever he's doing. So I think it's time to take it back to the customer or let him come and get it. I don't think he's going to want to get it today. It's like 12 degrees outside with a strong northwest wind and -7 tonight. So maybe he's going to wait until a warmer day, but we'll call it done, get it back to the customer, and get on to the next project.